What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for some more content for you guys, and we're going to be taking a deep dive into our new signing, Kevin Danso. Obviously signed out from Lens a few days ago for 25 million euros, I think it was. One that came like kind of out of the blue, like many Johan Lang signings. So we're going to be taking a close look at him, his history in his football journey. We're also going to be comparing him in the stats, see what he's about in the data, comparing him to the current Spurs centre-backs as well. But first of all, let's go and see his history. And this is the article that Spurs put on their website. Born in Austria to Ghanaian parents, Kevin moved to Milton Keynes at the age of 6, quickly made an impression in youth football, playing for Reading and Milton Keynes Dons. He came through the ranks at Stadium MK around the same time as the iconic Dele Alli, before heading back to the continent to join Bundesliga side FC Augsburg in 2014. Came for MK Dons with Dele Alli.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, neither did I.
Interesting.
So, yeah, that's a connection right there. He made his debut for the Bavarian club in March 2017 as an 18-year-old, lining up against his new teammate Timo Werner in a 2-2 draw with RB Leipzig. 6 months later, he made his international bow for Austria, coming on as a first-half substitute in a losing effort against Wales in a World Cup qualifier in Cardiff, where he faced Ben Davies and Gareth Bale that night. Kevin has made 44 caps for Augsburg at that point. His association with the club lasting 7.5 years, punctuated with loans at Southampton and Fortuna Düsseldorf. During that, he spent a loan at Southampton 1920 season. The defender was on the bench for the South Coast team when we faced them in a 2-1 game in September 2019, before playing in the 1-1 FA Cup third round draw at St Mary's the following January. And then in the summer 2021, he joined Lens permanently, and then he kind of started his rise to where he is now, and enjoyed a good first season there with Lens. Back in France's top flight, he became an immediate fixture in the side, slotting into the manager's 3-man backline as Lens consolidated their Liga 1 status, finishing 7th. Following season brought nobody could have predicted. Lens matched the perennial title favourites PSG step for step. So he was part of that team where Lens, absolutely smashed it, and they were going, head to head with PSG almost the entire season, but they did fall short towards the end, and they lost the title by just 1 point. Kevin was ever present in that team, and played all but one game. Well, not ever present, all but one game, and was named in the France League's Player of Team of the Season. Qualifying for the Champions League, thanks to a memorable campaign, Kevin made his debut in the Champions League 23-24. He played every minute in a memorable 2-1 win over Arsenal in October. He's already a Tottenham legend. He played in a 2-1 win over Arsenal. They advanced into the knockout stages. His final full season with Lens ended in a 7th-place finish in Liga 1. After a strong first half to the current campaign, Kevin now returns to England to join the club to bolster our defence. He's developed into a modern centre-back, strong, hard-working and comfortable carrying the ball in transition. Our new number 4 is the third player to join us currently from Lens, the likes of Benoit Assou-Ekotto and Adel Tarabt, having donned the colours of the French side. He will also become the second Austrian to play for the club after his compatriot and fellow centre-back Kevin Wimmer at the club. That was, struck a bromance with Sonny at the time. Maybe Kevin Danso can also strike a bromance with Sonny. But
everyone strikes a bromance with Sonny.
True. 2 Austrians playing with Spurs, and both have the same name in Kevin. But yeah, it was interesting with the Southampton, because I was reading a bit about his time at Southampton, and the reason they say it didn't work out for him because Southampton always played him at fullback and not at centre back, and it didn't work for him too well.
Well, it was a while ago as well.
Yeah,
he was young.
1920.
Exactly. Yeah, that's 6 years ago. So that means he must have been like 20. So he was young back then. But what's interesting is at Lens, when in that season, as you say, they went for the title and things like that. I think they were playing a back 3 that season, and he was very much like the central centre back in a back 3. And then Under Will Still's come in. They've moved to a back four, apparently a much more aggressive man-to-man kind of marking system, and he's kind of thrived in that. What really, obviously, I know him from is the Euros in 2024. I thought he was fantastic for Austria, and obviously Ralf Rangnick plays a very kind of high-pressing, kind of attacking style. And if you watched Austria, Kevin Danso, I think he was playing left centre-back in a back four, and he would always be on the halfway line. He'd always be very, very aggressive, ready to make challenges, ready to pounce. And obviously, Austria had a bit of success in the Euros, albeit we're ending up going out to Turkey, which was probably a big shame for them. But I thought he was really impressive. I remember being very impressed with him. But I don't know whether it's just because I was impressed with Austria overall, but him specifically. But I remember him looking quite good for Austria. Obviously, he famously broke Mbappe's nose in the Euros as well. That, if you remember, Mbappe was wearing his mask. That was because of an altercation he had with Danso in the game between Austria and France. And that was a very close game. Austria probably should have won, if you remember rightly. So I think France ended up winning it 1-0, or was it 0-0? One of the two. It was a very close game. So Kevin Danso showed he can play at the highest level, I thought, and was I think in terms of a stylistic fit for Tottenham, I think it's quite a good one. I think he's used to playing aggressive style, was used to playing, high up the pitch. Maybe has to get more used to playing with a back four than when he was really successful, but I think that will come. I think he's been doing that for a while anyway. So I like the fit. I like the fact that he's a bit more experienced than some of our other players as well. So comes in at a decent age, 26 years of age. And I think, yes, he's not the best centre-back in the world. I don't think he's probably, if everyone's fit, is in our top two centre-backs, I think it's fair to say. But I also definitely think it adds depth to the team, and I think he's definitely probably an upgrade on Dragoshin, which is a good thing.
What is a cause for concern? Is my phone still connected? Yeah. If you can bring it up again, I've got his injury record here, where prior to this season, it's not really a cause for concern, his injuries. He misses like 2 or 3 games a season for club and country. But this season, he missed 9 games for France and Austria, 46 days out for heart problems. So, I mean, I don't know what happened there. I don't know, the background of it or what actually happened, but he did miss 46 days this season for heart problems, which is, a bit concerning.
Yeah, that's obviously, 6 weeks. I read somewhere that he failed a medical. I'm not sure which club. I think it was like Roma or something. He failed a medical because they spotted this heart issue, and it turned out to be something that wasn't so serious, and that actually, when they did further investigation, it didn't turn out to be as serious as they originally thought, and they probably could have signed him, but obviously by the time that was figured out, they had moved on from the deal. But I don't know what caused this heart problem this season. I couldn't tell you, to be honest. I haven't done my research on it, but yeah, it's not great seeing a player miss 46 days through heart surgery, heart issues. But in overall, I think he's since 2021. Apparently, he's only missed 16 games in the past 4 years. So
I think less. I think since 2021, he's missed 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, plus the 9 this season. Yeah, 16. So that's his injury record. Let's go and take a dive into how the data matches up and how he matches up to our current centre backs.
So this is Kevin as a ball playing centre back. This is like what the data shows, and this is him this season. As you can see, his passing maybe not the best, but his progressive passes is decent. Pass into the final third, carrying is good. In terms of, you can see here, aerials one is really pretty strong. His percentage of dribblers tackles strong as well, so maybe showing he's quite decent in one-on-one duels. Tackles interceptions are quite high, so he's quite an aggressive centre back, and his touches in the middle third and touch overall quite high. So I think stylistically, when you're looking for a ball-playing centre-back, he pretty much, ticks a lot of boxes. However, maybe his passing, which is something that when I was watching him for Austria, he seemed a bit kind of, seemed to rush his passes a lot. Sometimes they're a bit inaccurate. I think he was a good passer, and he was, in a weird way, he was like comfortable with the ball at his feet. But sometimes he would rush, I feel like, his passing, and every pass, sometimes he didn't keep it simple enough. And that was something I think I noticed a bit with Dan. So he kind of likes to play at 100 miles an hour. And look, it kind of suits us because we like to play at 100 miles an hour, but sometimes it can work against him.
From some of the clips I've seen from him, his long-range passing seems to be really good in terms of he can pick either winger out on either side. If they're high up the pitch, they're looking to get in behind. So it could be an option for us to play like quick style over the top kind of thing.
Yeah, that'll definitely suit us for sure. But I don't know if I think it's a case of like when he has a lot like time and space, he can pick out a good pass. But when he's being rushed, I think he rushes it maybe a bit too much. So comparing him to like Romero, I actually think stylistically he is quite similar to Romero. I think Danso is a bit like Romero light in a way, but Romero is obviously a lot better on the ball. But if you bring up the comparison, you can see fairly similar. Romero's, you can see in the red, Romero's obviously quite a lot better at most aspects, but what Danso has over him a lot is his aerial ability, maybe in his one-on-one duels, but the passing ability of Romero is obviously a lot stronger than Danso. But I think stylistically, Danso and Romero are not too far apart. They are quite similar, as you can see on the graph. Like Danso is probably like a bit of a worse version of Romero. That's kind of how I would describe him stylistically in terms of how aggressive he is. He likes to get involved in duels, but I think Romero just has that edge on the ball, I think, over Danso.
Yeah, but what Danso does have the edge on Romero is in the air, and I think that's where is a weakness in our set of defenders. I know Dragoshin's supposed to be good in the air, but Dragoshin is not really a suit to the system where Danso is. So in terms of our three first choice centre backs in Danso, Van der Ven and Romero, it seems as though he's good in the air when the other three are not as strong.
Yeah, he's clear. I think he'll probably be the best in the air at the club now he's joined. So I think that's something that we've probably struggled with. I think, and obviously from set pieces and things, and I think he hopefully will go some way to kind of solving that issue. Comparing him to Van der Ven, I think, as you can see, Van der Ven, he's again stronger. I guess the stats are a bit skewed because Van der Ven is a bit more of a different kind of centre back. He kind of mops up rather than gets and makes challenges. Obviously, Kevin Danso, you can see he gets involved in a lot more duels. He wins a lot more tackles and interceptions than Van der Ven, but doesn't mean Van der Ven is not as good as a defender. He just has a different role. Passing wise, obviously Van der Ven again is stronger. Passes into the final third. Danso is better than him at that. But I think stylistically he's more of a Romero than a Van der Ven, I think, when it comes to those kind of things.
Do you think in the eventuality, if we do sell a Romero this summer, Danso will be his natural replacement? Or do you think we go for a bigger centre-back?
I think I don't think we've signed Danso to be a centre-back who's as good as Romero. I mean, it's hard to do that. I don't know. I mean, we were saying similar about Dragoshin, and he hasn't really turned out to be what we'd hoped. But it's clear now that Dragoshin doesn't really fit the system where we're saying Danso does probably fit the system. I think he should do, stylistically. I think we'd probably still sign another centre-back.
Because the way I'm looking at it is like, Ange always said that he doesn't want to sign a centre-back to block the pathways of the young and up-and-coming centre-backs that we got at the club. Now we're signing Danso, potentially looking for another one as well. And exactly. The other one as well is probably only going to be a loan from now to the end of the season just to help us out with the injury problems. So it makes me think that, if Romero was to leave in the summer, maybe we wouldn't sign another centre-back.
I think we would. I think we'd probably sell Dragoshin as well, to be honest. And then we'd sign another one. I don't think we'd go into I don't think we'll make the same mistake. I'd like to think anyway, make the same mistake again of going to a season short in that area. And if we sell Romero, we're not going to go into the season with Danso, Van der Ven and Dragoshin. I mean, sorry, what I should say is we shouldn't. That is what I'll say that. We shouldn't go into the season with those three as our only main centre-backs.
But also it depends what the plans are with Vuskovic. next season.
Yeah. He's still only going to be 18.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously he's playing very well, looking very good. The plan will probably be to bring him in and give him some game time, but he'll probably still be fourth choice centre back.
Yeah,
but I think we should probably in that
and
event.
Ben Davis there as well.
Yeah, Ben Davis obviously might give him a new contract going to his last year, but I think in the event of that happening, I would sell Dragoshin and bring another one in.
Yeah,
and
I'd
bring
agree
a better
with that.
one.
I'd agree with that.
And that's what they probably should be doing.
What's he compared to like with Ben Davis?
Yeah, so Davis, Davis more similar to Van de Ven. He's more of a mopper-upper than probably Danso, who's obviously a lot more aggressive. Where is he, Ben Davis? So I would say, again, aerially, Danso much better. One-on-one duels, much better. On the ball, though, again, Davis is a bit better than Danso, looks like, in terms of his pass completion, progressive passes, his amount of touches. Interestingly, Danso looks like he's much more comfortable in the middle third of the pitch than Ben Davis. He likes to get a few more touches in there. Passes into the final third as well. Danso likes to pass it forward ball. So I think Davis may be more of a safe passer than Danso, I think it's fair to say, but maybe a better passer. But carries are very similar. I think on the ball, I think Davis a bit safer than Danso. Danso a bit more adventurous in his passing, but Danso a lot more aggressive off the ball than Ben Davis.
So yeah, I do think Ben Davis will stick around for one more season. But in terms of what Danso's strong at, that what Ben Davis is lacking at, I mean, it fills me with a bit of confidence moving on, and I think Danso might actually surprise a few people with how good he actually is. But what's he like with Radu Dragoshin?
With Radu, yeah, I mean, he's kind of better at Radu than everything. Apart from the only thing he's not is the distance he gets on his progressive passes, and it's only slightly anyway. Everything else, Danso outranks him. So I would say that Danso is a clear upgrade on Dragoshin, not just on quality, but on the fit as well of the system. Dragoshin, I think, has his strengths, but even in his strengths, it looks like Danso is better than him on those things anyway, like aerial ability, especially.
It's also worth noting Radu's a lot younger than Danso.
Yeah, 4 years younger, that's true, but we're talking about how they are right now. Aerially, Danso looks like he's better. He gets involved in a lot more duels. Passing-wise, he's better than Dragoshin as well. So I do think Danso comes in and immediately he's a bit of an upgrade. He's an upgrade on Dragoshin, in my opinion. So Dragoshin obviously notably has struggled in I think in the best of times in the system. Obviously he's had his good games, but most of the time he's just looked a bit not right in the way we play, and I think a lot of people have noticed that. And I think Danso should look a lot better in the system that we play than Dragoshin.
So what are we thinking? Danso, you reckon Danso and Mickey can slot straight in against Liverpool, or maybe Mickey's not ready?
Maybe Mickey's not ready.
Yeah.
I think they'll both play.
You think that? Yeah, I don't know.
He played 45 against Elfsborg, and I think he said the original plan was to play 45 against Brentford, but he thought let's just keep him on ice for a week. I think that's because he wants him extra ready for that. He wanted to get some football in him before that game, I think, at Anfield. He didn't want him to come into that game cold. And he's not, because he's had 45 minutes, and then I think he's going to chuck him straight in. I think
Why didn't he give him at least like 15 minutes at the end of that game?
Didn't need to. Just felt like, look, unless he did actually pick up an injury, but if I'm going to take him at his word, I think just keep him on ice give him that whole week just to rest up after playing a bit of football. Get him back on the pitch for a bit, give him 45 minutes, then rest up for a week, make sure he's fit enough to play that game at Anfield.
I really hope you're right. I really hope you're right, because I think, all being well, and if we lived in a perfect world, I'd love to see them as a back two against.
And I think they play off in terms of how they'll play off each other. In theory, it should really, really work well.
Recovery pace should be brilliant with them two at the back.
Yeah, and Danso will be a bit more aggressive, a bit more of a bulldog. And
very concerning about Romero, though, isn't it?
Yeah, he looks like he's had a setback. He's healing a lot slower than we'd hope. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what's happened. But, I mean, is it too much of a coincidence to think about the fact that he hasn't played since he made those comments about the hierarchy? Maybe there's something to that.
Has he?
No?
I didn't even think of that. Well, I mean, if you're Daniel Levy, you want to protect your asset in terms of getting the most money out of it, and the least you play, because prospective managers and clubs will know what's going on in the background more than what we know as the public and the fans. They'll know how long the player's been fit before we sign him. So if there's an issue there, you probably won't get as much money as if you just probably keep playing them and you see what they're like on the pitch week in, week out.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's anything to do with the comments why he's not playing.
Just saying, it's a bit of a coincidence.
It is a coincidence. What, do you think there's something in it?
No, not necessarily. I mean, not necessarily, unless there is. You know what I mean? I don't think so, but I mean, it does kind of add up as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is. If I was to put money on it, I'd probably say he's just injured. But it does seem to be like he's set to come back a few times, and there's always been setbacks and all these things. And
but Sonny came out, said something. Decky said something last week, and they're still playing.
But those weren't as blatant as what Romero said.
Mm.
Romero is very much a
Romero's the only one that came out and apologised.
Did he?
Yeah, Romero apologised, didn't he? Or Ange apologised for him, was it? No, I think Romero did, didn't he? Saying that he wasn't aimed like he. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Romero apologised.
I think Romero apologised. I think Ange said he said, "Oh, Romero shouldn't have said what he said," or something like that.
I thought Ange said Romero apologised, or maybe I'm
maybe yeah,
wrong.
maybe Ange said Romero apologised. He never said it himself. I don't think.
Not in the public, anyway.
I don't know. Look, I don't know if there's anything there. It's just he said those comments. I think it was straight after the Chelsea game. Then we haven't seen him since. It's just a bit interesting, I would say. But let's see when he's back. Let's hope he's back soon. I'm looking forward to having him back. We've missed him, but yeah.
All right, well, that is Kevin Danso, a deep dive into Kevin Danso. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Like, subscribe, and comment, and as always,